Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
Welcome back, everyone. We appreciate you taking the time to watch GPS this morning. We've got Pat Jones. He is the owner of Portland Marine here in the studio. Pat and I go back a long ways. He was helping sponsor the show through other dealers. I don't even know how long ago now, but now Pat is the owner of his own place, Portland Marine, man. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
I know that was something that you were looking forward to for a long time. At least I know that you were eyeballing that for quite a while. How long has it been now since you've been the owner, and how are things going? Because you took over in a really weird timeline.
Yeah.
But from the start to now, how are things going?
Excellent. We moved during that time too to a brand new facility, not on Highway 212, but not far from our old location. If you haven't been to our new location,
it's a much better place, honestly.
Yeah, big facility with indoor showroom and huge service department. We can fit eight to almost 10 service boats in at a time inside, so the guys aren't working out in the rain under tents and things like that.
Yeah, so, which obviously makes it nice for them when they're actually out there working on everybody's boats. Yeah. You're fully staffed too. I mean, it's not like you know, I know that it's happened in the past where you're light on staff, but you're good to go.
It's been tough. I mean, sometimes I get to the point where I think we're gonna need someone, and then someone just walks through the door with tons of experience, and then boom, we're right up and running again. So.
Yeah, you've got a hell of a crew. There's no doubt about it. They're the guys that I trust. Okay, and if something does go wrong, they'll always take care of you. That's all part about being human and boats themselves. I mean, there's a lot going on these things. But now you're selling boats. You got new boats, used boats. You got the boat show going on. Service, especially, I would assume this time of year. Is pretty darn busy. People want to get stuff either prepared to get into, you know, winter steelhead, or a lot of people already asking lots of questions about spring Chinook. But if folks are out there watching, maybe they want to get something going on the boat. What's a wait like to get in there?
Right now, we're not out that far. We stayed busy all the way through the end of the year and had some pretty good projects through November and December that kept guys busy with some big refits of electronics and so forth. And we've progressively stayed busy with service. You know, we took a little, we took on Mercury outboards recently, so we service those now. We have Honda and Yamaha also, which Yamaha is kind of our big line, but the service department stayed busy. Everybody stayed busy. We have 3 technicians that work on the motors, and we've got 2 electronic specialists, and just a great staff there. So, just lots going on.
Yeah, well, bringing on Mercury, that by itself is a little different for you.
Yeah.
At all the places that I've known you to be working at or managing or now owning, it was always Honda, Yamaha. Bringing on Mercury, that just opens up everything, especially for the Northwest. Now you got all 3 of the most popular motors.
Yep. Yeah, and it helps with some of our boat lines because you know, with our boats here in the Northwest, with the big motors with tillers on them, Mercury's kind of got that dialed in on the big motors with tillers. So, you know, Yamaha does too, but they all 3 do. But Mercury's kind of dialed in on the tillers for the big motors.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you like those power steering. I'm kidding. It's super cool. Super cool. Okay, well, so you got the service department that everybody is probably, you know, nobody ever wants to come into a service department. Let's just be honest. You'd rather have your boat under you running with no problem, right? But that's not how boats work. Whenever there's an issue, just rub a little money on it and it'll get worked out. But you guys sell boats. You got a ton of different lines of boats. You just don't carry one boat here, one boat there. You've got a pretty full selection. I know that the boat show is going on. We have no association with the boat show whatsoever, just Pat and Portland Marine. But good reasons to go see them. This year, other than the new boats, which we'll talk about, there's a big contingent of used boats that are going to be there this year, and you have several that are going to be there. We have
a really good selection of quality used boats that are not very old. Most of brands that we sell, and so that's kind of nice too. So they're boats I know a lot about that we have in our either on consignment or that we've taken in on trade.
Sure.
And you know, so the quality used boats, there's a lot out there, and for good pricing too.
Sure.
I mean, now's the time for buying, because there's a little bit of an overstock situation in the market. So prices are really.
Which is that one of the reasons why they put in the used?
You know, they've had that for a few years.
Yeah, except when I was in the boat business, they definitely did.
Yeah,
not do
the
that.
boat show used to encompass every single building at the expo center, and it got to the point where they had an extra building that they weren't using, and so they offered that as an extra to bring used boats over there. And last year I didn't have many, so we only took a couple, but this year I have quite a few used boats, and they're all real nice ones.
And you're going to be at the Sportsman Show as well?
We'll be at the Sportsman Show with full-on, you know, all of our fishing boats and the electronics display. We'll have electronics at the current boat show as well, and running specials on boats and outboards and some of our electronics. So now's the time too to think about that. Don't wait for a couple months to want to put a new fish finder on or whatever, because we're.
I mean, you guys are a destination for the installs.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of how I found Pat 100 years ago, was needing to get stuff done that was screwed up. Actually, it was me that screwed it all. Hence the reason why I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I take it to Pat and have his guys do it. Alan and Todd and the guys that you got over there do an extremely good job. But there's no question that it's easy for a boat owner to screw something up, admit it, but you got to get it fixed, okay? Because you don't want to have all this money wrapped up in your electronics and not have it working correctly, let alone we all don't know how to use them correctly either. You know who you are, but you got to get all that stuff installed the right way. And there's a lot of new things that are available these days. If you have a boat that's 5 or 6 or 7 years old, things have changed completely when you're talking about installs and the different types of equipment that you use to get them installed correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, every boat's different on the installs, and so you can't cookie cutter an install for even just a regular fish finder.
Sure.
But the new autopilots that are out now, the battery systems for the Minn Kotas on the bows, everybody, you know, that's been a popular thing. We're doing a lot of installs on the electric trolling motors on all kinds of boats, from 30-foot offshore boats, you know, because now they make those in longer shafts, and every one of them is a custom install. I mean, buying a Minn Kota and then expecting it to just be real easy to install, it's not as easy. And then there's a lot of options on the mounts. There's a lot of options on batteries.
Yeah, lithium's becoming very, very popular.
Lithium batteries have just exploded, and
not literally.
No. But there's a lot of new battery companies out there, you know, from going from a single 32 volt or 36 volt battery to a you know, individual 12 volt batteries, and what's the advantages of all those. And there's a lot of parts and pieces when you're installing an electric trolling motor, and you know.
Well, and lithium, I think, at least for us on the West Coast, you know, the kind of fishing that we do here, it got really popular with the bass guys down south years and years and years ago, which is the reason why we've seen such an explosion. A lot of smaller companies making their own batteries. I love the fact of having Bluetooth on my lithium battery, so I can see everything that's going on while the motor's, the bow mount's going. I mean, that's stuff that is new for a lot of us, right? But now it's pretty much standard on a lot of these batteries that are available. Most people think that those systems are more for the bow mounts, but you can now use lithium for all of it, right?
You can. You've got to be careful. Some of the motor manufacturers are really telling you they will say you can on certain motors and not on others.
Interesting.
So you definitely want to check out before you. We've had people come in and want to switch out their batteries to lithium and for their main house batteries and so forth. And even with the electronics, just check ahead of time and call us. You know, we'll advise you which motors you can use that, because it could affect your warranty if they. We found that years and years ago when we first started getting into lithium, that none of the motor manufacturers wanted you to attach that to your main motors. But now there are some that will, and so just check ahead of time, make sure your motor.
That's why you call Portland Marine, okay? Because I know guys that would literally just go,
Yeah, I just why I'm not saying.
call it all good, right?
Yeah. Not to mention that they take different chargers, so your battery chargers, onboard battery chargers, have to be lithium capable as well. So,
And they can get pretty darn spendy. I think the one that I've got in my sled right now is like a $600 charger. Believe it or not, it really is like that.
Yeah, the good ones are going to be in that price range.
Yeah,
but the prices have come way down. It used to be a lithium battery was going to be over $2,000.
Oh, he's solid.
Yeah, and they're all, battling back and forth. The prices have come down to where you can get a nice battery for around $1,000.
So we don't get off topic. I got to cut to a break. But when guys have boats that they've already owned, because there's a lot of folks out there that have boats that have been around a long time, but they want to upgrade, get the bow mount on there, and they're going to put that. It's a huge advantage to have one 36-volt battery instead of 3 old school batteries that weigh 100 pounds a piece, it seems like, and you cut it down to less than half the weight. But a lot of that install is, where do you put that battery? Sometimes things have to be mounted in there to get them mounted the right way. You can't just throw it up in the front of the boat and call it good. That whole thing has to be done correctly, and there's a reason why we've seen so many bow mounts these days, no matter what it is, if it's Garmin, if it's Loran, or if it's Minn Kota. I mean, there's just a ton of them that are available now.
Yeah, and we do a lot of fab work to make the batteries fit where you want them. Yeah. And we work with with Ampro, doing some of our fab work to make battery trays and boxes that are custom. So there's just a million different ways. So it's challenging. It takes us a while to do it, but but we've been doing it a long time, and know my technicians that do it.
Yeah, well, you've got the right guys doing it. And if you're going to have to deal with Ampro, don't mind the battery being kind of wonk. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going to get in trouble for that. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, we've got a quick tech tip for you, our Chevy Silverado tech tip of the week. Then we're going to continue our conversation with Pat Jones from Portland Marine.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.